We have 8 countries in this region, but we have grouped those countries into 4 ecological groups because they belong to like that. So we have, like, let's say, hills and mountains, where you get upper Nepal, entire Bhutan, northeastern India, as well as western North India, northern part of Pakistan, and Chittagong Hills of Bangladesh into one group. Then you have a second group, like coastal humid climates, where you have the coastal areas of India, Bangladesh, entire Sri Lanka, and Maldives. So this is another group. Then we have arid and semi-arid climates, and there you have India, you have Pakistan, you have Afghanistan in that, and high barren tract of Bangladesh also belongs to the same category.
Presumably each area presents its own unique problems, but are there common problems shared across this diverse region, these diverse 4 groups?
Yes, there are specific problems to these ecologies, but there are common problems. One of the very common problems for entire South Asia is the food security, hunger, malnutrition, poverty, low income. These are common problems across all countries. In fact, South Asia is the hub of this very poor people in the world. More than half of them are in South Asia. So that is a common problem. Then there are ecological specific problems: deforestation, land degradation, siltation, and loss of biodiversity, climate change effects on food security, climate change effects on other areas. These are other specific problems to a specific ecology, but they are different. Say in the semi-arid and arid areas, loss of biodiversity is there, but only in relation to the ecology of aridness or dryness. In the humid part, which is Bangladesh, eastern part of India, Tarai of Nepal, and Tarai of Bhutan, rainfall is not a problem. Amount of rainfall is enough, so it's flood affected, a problem. In the western part of the region, which is semi-arid, it's low rainfall or low amount of water availability is a problem. So there are specific problems and there are common problems across the region.
Right. I mean, presumably the problems are getting worse as the effects of climate change become more and more apparent.
Yes.
What are you able to do at this stage, and what help do you need from the international community focused here at COP18 to enhance your work, to make your work more effective?
You see, specific problems related to climate change are affecting the livelihoods of people through the occurrence of events, undesirable events, climatic events. For example, you have droughts, floods, cyclones, your cloudbursts, and things like that. So what we are noticing in the region, that these climate-related events are occurring more intensely, more frequently, and they're covering larger area. For example, when there is a heat, in the summer, sometimes you see temperatures rising to about 50 degrees Celsius. And if in the previous years it used to be, let's say, for 1 week or 10 days, now it lasts for months. Similar is the case for the floods. So these are the climate-related events which are affecting the in general livelihoods of the people throughout the region. Saying that, there are also uncertainties about what the people are really worried is the uncertainty about it. They don't know when this event will take place and how long will it last. So removing uncertainty or helping remove that uncertainty is one way of helping the population in that. Building their capacity through knowledge, through training, through visits and so on, building their capacity to deal with these climate change events is another way of helping them. And third one is the actionable agenda, providing them what to do in case this happens. So we put this together in what we call that climate smart agriculture practices. Although there may be a lot of debate on that, what is climate smart agriculture practice? But in a very simple term, climate smart agriculture practice are those practices that will insulate the livelihood systems, the food systems, the production systems against any given unwanted climate-related event. And in that relationship, there is a lot that we are trying to do. And institutions like this COP18 gives us an opportunity to link up with other regions, with other countries having similar problems. We may not repeat or replicate their practices as such, but we can always learn the principles of it, and then using that we can devise so that the whole process of helping the farmers can be accelerated. So that's one help that we get.
So it's a sharing process, really, irrespective of what goes on in the negotiating chambers here. You benefit simply by being here talking to people in a similar situation.
That's very true. Negotiation is one part. That's a very big umbrella. Sometimes they fail. Sometimes they don't get approved. Sometimes they get delayed and can't be implemented. What we are doing, particularly in my group, what we are looking forward is solutions to the problems that farmers face, whether they are taken up in the negotiations or not. The fact is that climatic unwanted events are taking place. They are taking place more intensely, more frequently, and covering much wider area. So what we need immediately is some technical solutions. The practices that the farmers can implement or apply on their own, whether they have been going through the negotiations or not. And I think we don't have to wait for negotiations to be approved and millions to come in. We need to develop these practices which can be implemented at the local level.
I mean, are the technical solutions available? Are they out there, or are you still waiting for technical solutions to some of the problems?
I would say that there are a lot of technical solutions available. They may be in bits and pieces here and there. They may not be in a compendium, in a shelf that you can pick up, and they may not be prescriptive in nature. But definitely there are certain practices available, and they are happening on the ground. And what we are trying to do is to learn more about them and to accelerate that, to refine them further. Otherwise, the events have been so bad in the past few years. If these things were not there, if the traditional knowledge was not there, the whole thing could have been very catastrophic. So they are there, and we are trying to put them together into a kind of compendium. We were trying to refine, validate them, and improve them so they can be easily adapted by the applicators or the farmers. And we are also trying to develop some scientific procedures. How can these practices be scaled up at a larger level in the countries? And those have to be done through the scientific principles. See, believing that something is good will move by itself. Yes, it will move, but it will move at its own pace, and it will move within its own limits. But if we push that through a scientific principles, methods, then they can be applicable, they can be applied at a much larger scale in a much faster time frame. So we are also trying to develop that protocol. How can we scale up these practices using some scientifically sound methods and protocols?